There are plenty of games that transport you to alien worlds populated with strange creatures, but it takes a special game to really make you feel like an explorer. Capsized creates this rare sensation by not just giving you lush and beautiful levels to explore, but also by empowering you with a diverse array of movement abilities. The joy of seeing what exotic sights lie ahead is amplified by the satisfaction of experimenting with these various mechanics and finding new and clever ways to move around and manipulate your environment. The physics system that fuels the action allows for a lot of creativity, despite being prone to occasional hiccups, and the arcade modes offer some fun ways to flex your skills once you've completed the campaign. It's immensely fun to not just explore the tantalizing jungles of Capsized, but to get creative with movement in this low-gravity world. The situation is straightforward. Your spaceship has crashed on an alien planet, and as one of the few survivors, you must locate crew members, call for help, and get yourself rescued. To accomplish all this, you must set off into the jungles of this lush world, which are an absolute treat for the eyes. The ground you walk on is a beautifully drawn mosaic of plants and creatures that rivals a coral reef for visual diversity, and you'll continue to notice new details even after hours of play. The thoughtful lighting and atmospheric music help create a great alien ambiance that makes it a real pleasure to explore this world. But seeing the sights is only half the fun. The other half is actually moving around. The gravitational pull isn't very strong, so not only can you jump high, you can hang on to the side of a wall with ease. This is a great way to reach high places or get a better firing position on an enemy. Of course, you can also use your jetpack to achieve these goals, provided you have enough fuel. The two other tools that account for most of your creative potential are the gravity ram and the hook. The gravity ram shoots a burst of short-range force. Aim it at the ground and you fly upwards. Aim it at a wall and you can fling yourself across a chasm. Gravity ram an enemy or an object, and depending on its size, you'll either destroy it, send it flying, or rocket yourself backwards like a squid. Your final tool is a kind of bungee cord grappling hook thing. You can use it to zip up to higher ledges, swing through the air like Tarzan, or turn a plummeting fall into a slingshot ride to the stratosphere. You can also latch onto enemies and objects, and if the object is small enough, a force field springs up around it and you can move it around at will. This comes in handy for removing obstacles, solving puzzles, and even attacking enemies. Though it's easy to use all of these skills, it can take a while to master them, and finding more ways to do cool stuff is one of the chief pleasures of Capsized. Of course, it's also fun to shoot dudes. You start each level with your humble blaster and find a variety of weaponry as you explore. There are a good amount of guns, and each one has a secondary fire mode that offers a different type of attack. Between your substantial arsenal and the abundant objects that you can pick up and hurl at enemies, there are a lot of ways to destroy your foes. Still, Capsized is not an easy game, so you'll want to be on the lookout for health, extra lives, and temporary power-ups. The campaign can be played cooperatively on one screen, with one player on the keyboard and mouse and the other on a gamepad, or with both using gamepads. The keyboard and mouse actually ends up being a bit better than the gamepad control-wise, but both schemes are equal to the task. Unfortunately, the camera isn't quite as good, and it often gets confused about where to focus when one partner dies. A teleport because you're too far away mechanic is also in place, but the logic of who teleports to whose side seems inconsistent. Visual bugs and an increased prevalence of physics-based oddities also plague the cooperative mode, but it's still fun to swing around and blast baddies with a buddy. There are also a bunch of arcade modes that offer different kinds of challenges, and the best of these put your locomotive skills to a tough test, though it's a shame there are no online leaderboards to showcase your prowess. By the time you finish the campaign, you'll know how to move around in a bunch of creative ways, and it's a lot of fun to play the arcade modes or revisit campaign levels to indulge your skills. The thrill of learning to move like a native makes your time in this lush, exotic world immensely enjoyable, and for the very reasonable price of $9.99, Capsized is an adventure well worth taking.